Welcome to Into Public Interest, a periodic public affairs program brought to you by Bergen Community College. I'm Jerry Ryan, the college president. My guest today is Adele Miller, who's the Rotary Club governor for the district. I don't know which district it is.
Rotary District 7490.
Governor sounds very impressive. So, what does the governor do?
As governor of Rotary District 7490, which encompasses Bergen, Passaic, and Hudson counties, I'm responsible for 55 Rotary clubs in those three counties. And I am expected to make a, quote, official visit to each club to motivate the club and to go over with the board of directors their plans and objectives for the current year. In addition to that, I'm expected to have a district conference at the end of my year, which will be in Philadelphia at the Hyatt Regency in Penn's Landing, and we will go there from Thursday through Sunday, April 28th through May 1st, to further motivate our Rotarians and also share best practices and just have a good time.
That's great. You said when we were talking beforehand too that it's really not just a one-year commitment, but you have your governor-elect for a year, and you do things to kind of prepare for the year?
Last year as governor-elect, I had to prepare the President-elect training seminar, affectionately known as PETS. People think, where are the small cats and dogs? But there is nothing to do with that. It's just an anachronism. So we trained 250 presidents at the Parsippany Hilton for a weekend. And we had motivational speakers from Rotary International assist us, and we had seminars of 15 people per seminar where they could then be in a facilitated discussion and talk with their fellow presidents about their own plans.
Great. Now, you're obviously a Rotarian, I'm a Rotarian, my father was a Rotarian, so we know what Rotary is, but tell our viewers what the goal of Rotary is, or what the major function of a Rotary Club is, so that they get a sense of that.
Rotary's motto, as you know, is service above self. Rotary began in 1905. It began as the Rotary Club of Chicago, founded by Paul Harris, a Chicago lawyer who was lonely. He had missed the small town where he grew up, and he was looking to make friends and have a convivial spirit of professionalism. And it became the Rotary Club of Chicago because the members rotated the meetings, each member having a turn at hosting the meeting. And the idea seemed to catch on like wildfire, so by 1921 they had clubs in 6 continents. In 1922 they changed their name to Rotary International, and by 1925 there were 20,000 Rotarians in 200 clubs, and it just grew even further from there. In 1932 Rotary's Code of Ethics was founded. That was by Dr. Taylor, and it's a very simple thing, the Rotary 4-way test, which I'm sure you know by heart.
But the public doesn't know.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Is it beneficial to all concerned? Such a simple, effective way of being ethical. It's been translated into 100 languages, and people have adopted it all over the world.
It seems to me that the real gist of Rotary is service to community. I mean, that's what they seem to be about, that whole service above self.
Yes, so, it is service to the community, but it's also international service, club service, and the most important feature is vocational service. Vocational service is what makes Rotary different from any other service organization, because Rotarians are expected to use their vocation to do good in the world.
Right. Each club tries to have people from all the different vocations in the club, right? I mean, so
that's right.
Lawyer, doctor, accountant,
we
dentist.
do a quote classification survey, which isn't really a boring document, but it's where we see where vocations are noticeably missing from the club, and we try then to get members from those professions. So in the Hoboken Club, for example, they had no dentists, and they said, we'll declare October Dentist Month, and many of the members got their dentist to attend a meeting as a guest, and they were able to get several to join. And the whole idea was that it not just be all bankers or be all lawyers, but it have someone represented from every vocation in America, so that united we can do even more good.
Not too long ago, you wouldn't have been able to be a Rotarian. They made that major change when?
I know. I was finally able to join in 1986. I had been faithfully pledging the Rotary Club of Jersey City for 3 years, going to lunch after lunch with my dear husband, who was a member there, and they would not admit me. At first I didn't catch on because the club had a couple of hundred members at that time, but finally I realized that men were coming in that were not guests as long as I was, and then of course they confessed that they were not taking women until the law would require them to do so. So then the Lions Club was interested in me, and when I hinted that perhaps I would shift gears and join the Lions Club, all of a sudden I was immediately admitted
A little bit of leverage
as a woman, even
me.
before the law had made it necessary
that
for them
right?
to do so.
So now women are taking leadership roles
Yes, they
all
are.
over, and naturally, right?
I think of the 21 clubs I've visited so far in the 63 days I've been in office, at least half of them were women presidents, and at least half the audience is now women. It's not all men.
Seems to me that 24 hours a day, some Rotary Club is meeting. They don't.
That's
meet,
true.
They don't. They meet in the morning. They meet at lunch. They meet at dinner. I mean, you're as you. I mean, when do most of them meet? Do you think in your
Most
district?
of the clubs in our district do meet at lunch, but we
Okay.
do have 12 breakfast clubs and about 8 dinner clubs as well. And the dinner clubs are always very interesting because you don't have to rush out.
Right.
You can stay and linger with the people when the meeting is over. No one has to get back to the office. Whereas the breakfast and lunch clubs, they ring the bell, and an hour later they ring the bell and the meeting is over because people have to get to work.
The 55 clubs. How many members in the district? Rotarians.
We have about 1,400 members in our district. There are 6,400 members in New Jersey, and about 356,000 in the United States, and 1.2 million in the entire world.
Is the district that you're the governor of a large district, a small district compared to most
I think our
districts?
district is considered an average district.
Really? So districts are about that size?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the second smallest district geographically because of the
We get more people.
population
Yeah, right.
in Bergen, Passaic, and Hudson
Yeah.
counties. But size-wise, with number of Rotarians, it doesn't really get much smaller or larger than ours. We are typical. London is the only smallest district because there is one entire district that just covers the city of London.
Oh, interesting. Right. The international piece of Rotary, can you give some examples about projects that local clubs get into, to help people around the world? I'm thinking in one club I know of where they get bicycles and they take them to some
Yes,
country.
that's known as Pedals for Progress.
And then there's another one where they actually they build homes or they build schools.
They work with Habitat for Humanity.
Right.
Rotary began to be an international organization in 1930-something because the Rotarians realized there were not Rotary clubs in every community in the world, and they pooled their resources to help communities in need without Rotary clubs. And then in the World War II years, the clubs in America really worked very hard to provide war relief to the communities in Europe and Asia where the war was occurring. And then in 1945, 49 Rotarians and 29 delegations helped found the United Nations. And one of these gentlemen was right from New Jersey, Dr. Walter D. Head, a past president, I believe, of Fairleigh Dickinson University.
Wow.
And also a past president of Rotary International. And because of Rotary's involvement internationally, Rotary has a seat on the UN, as does the Red Cross, whereas no other non-government has a seat on the UN. So it's a very exciting time for Rotary. And Rotary has the United Nations Day every year. This year it's the first Saturday in November, where several thousand Rotarians and their children converge on the UN to meet with some of the UN leaders and discuss the partnerships that Rotary has been conducting with various parts of the United Nations.
That's terrific. I know from having been at clubs that one of the distinguished awards that people are very honored to receive is the Paul Harris Award.
Yes.
And I didn't know till today who Paul Harris was. I mean, nobody's ever explained that he was Chicago and all that to me. Maybe
When Paul Harris-
I didn't do my Rotary homework or whatever.
When Paul Harris died, they wanted to memorialize him, so they began the Paul Harris Awards. And anyone who donates $1,000 in their own name or in the name of someone else would then become a Paul Harris Fellow. And people have received multiple donations, actually, sometimes up until 10 donations, and then they say, please don't honor me anymore,
Right,
honor
sure.
someone else. But Rotary's major international project has been the eradication of polio. And in 1985, Rotary International decided it would take on a task that no one else has taken on, to eradicate polio on the face of the earth. So $600 billion later, we're 99.99% done with the job, but we can never feel that we're fully done because there are still pockets in Pakistan, Afghanistan, India, and Nigeria where we have not been able to reach all of the children. And secondly, polio, being a waterborne virus, is always able to reoccur because in developing nations we don't have pure water. We have very unclean water that needs sanitation and therefore would cause polio to breed there.
So, except for that part of the world that you just mentioned,
we feel that we're polio-free because no cases have occurred in any of these other countries. But polio is a plane ride away. Someone who we have not inoculated, who would then fly or walk or drive to
Sure.
a country that was, quote, polio-free would then change that statistic.
So Rotary's job has been to actually provide the inoculations to the children?
Yes, and it's 60 cents to inoculate one child.
Really?
So we're asking this year that we have a flight to fight polio. I should have brought my little plane.
That's
It's
all
a
right.
prop, and we ask that for $30 that you would take an economy seat, which would be one child per week for 50 weeks, or if you want to be more
get it.
generous,
I get
you
it,
would
yeah,
be a
sure.
sustaining member at $100.
Now, that one part of the world is a difficult part of the world right now because of war and all that. Is that the reason you haven't been able to get in?
Part of it is tribal warfare, part of it is religious and cultural differences where they feel that the Americans are going to harm their children, not help them.
So the inoculation is something nefarious, a
Yes.
term I learned in my last interview.
And sometimes it's so remote that no one can get there to do the
right.
job.
But you're trying.
Yes, we are.
That's great.
And we've had people from our own Rotary district who have gone on national immunization days. We've had 4 people from our district, past District Governor Dominic Jengo, and Tim Eustace from the Maywood Club, and also Dr. Patricia Larocco from the Fairlawn Club. And they have flown to India and actually helped give out the inoculations to children.
That's great. That must be very satisfying.
Yes, they
I
felt it
got
was
it.
very satisfying.
Great. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do when you're not the governor?
Well, right now I don't have much time to do anything but be the governor. But we do enjoy classical music, we enjoy the theater, we enjoy gourmet cooking, we enjoy traveling, and we enjoy going out in our boat in Lake Apacon.
All right. So you're retired?
I'm a retired educator. I've spent 30 years in Jersey City Public Schools as a teacher, a counselor, and an administrator. I also taught at St. Peter's College, and I also was a Board of Trustees member for a charter high school.
Good for you. What was your 36 years in Jersey City like as a teacher and an
I
administrator?
was a business teacher, a counselor, a vice principal. I taught at St. Peter's College in the business department as well. And then I basically enjoyed most the development of internships in companies in the New York City, Jersey City area for my students.
Pretty challenging?
Yes, it was challenging, but
Yeah.
very rewarding, and many
great.
students still keeping in touch with me.
That's great.
And
That's nice.
several of my students are in very important positions with the original company where I placed them, which is very exciting. One is as Chief Financial Officer of Liberty Savings Federal Credit
Placed him there as
Union.
an intern and he's moved
Yes,
up.
and she is now the Chief Financial Officer, and
great.
another young lady now manages the offices of the Jewel Electric Supply Company when she just started as a part-time clerk. So I feel very proud of my
That's
students.
got to be very satisfying
Yes.
to be a teacher that way. What's next for you? I mean, the governor is an all-consuming experience, it sounds like, right? I mean, you're saying you don't get to do all the things you like because you're
Because
but you
I'm
must
traveling,
enjoy it.
I'm traveling from club to club and
putting
meeting
a lot
with
of miles
people.
on the car.
Yes,
But I mean, you must enjoy it, right?
of course I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I'm on the half flight club plan, so I don't gain weight because all of these
Portion
meetings
control,
require
huh?
meals.
Yeah, right,
Yes.
yeah. What has been the best part of being the governor over the last so far?
The last 63 days. I
Yeah.
guess visiting with the 21 clubs and hearing about all the wonderful projects they're doing on the club level. And I've asked some of the clubs to share some of their best practices with other clubs already, and they're willing to do that, which is something that isn't always done. Clubs like to keep their project to themselves.
Last time I saw you, you were in fact at the president's inaugural ceremony here for our club.
Yes.
we have a Rotary club, which we think is pretty unique.
I was asked to install the offices of your club, and I was happy to do so. And I think your Rotary Club is unique because it encompasses students, teachers, staff members,
Right.
and all people from all walks of life and people of all ages, which is really Rotary's new thrust today, that we're looking for new generations so that the club is multi-generational and not just people our age.
I'm very proud of it. It does really good work, and we're really proud of Lois Marshall.
Lois Marshall
who
was a friend of mine, and I felt so badly when she passed away so
She was a
suddenly.
real icon here at the college, been here forever, and starting that club was one of her legacies at the institution.
But Lois loved Rotary,
Yes, she did.
but she loved this college more.
No, I think maybe, okay, I'll take that, but I think she really loved them both, was clear. My guest today on In the Public Interest has been Adele Miller. Adele is the governor of Rotary for this district, and been a lifelong Rotarian, almost lifelong, I should say. And we've really had a great time talking to you, Adele. Thanks a lot for being with us.
Thank you so much for asking me.
This, again, is In the Public Interest, a public service program of Bergen Community College. Have a good day.